why this situation in particular with Fuentes is such a big deal. When you ban somebody, like Spotify just did, banned him from any type of conversation, you are not hurting him. You're making him stronger and bigger and proving that you can't handle the truth. The only reason they block him isn't because he isn't trying to start trouble. They love when people start trouble. They don't like it when somebody of his magnitude is out there talking about topics that actually affect everyday people, like the control that the Zion Nazi state has over us. And so what we have here is a clear-cut example of what is going to happen if they continue to try to shut him up. It's not going to work. And here's why.
Did you guys see this Daily Wire debate that aired this evening? Oh my gosh, guys, they are losing the plot here. And by they, I mean the Jews. They're losing. They can't help it. They are in a death spiral. And that's not a dog whistle. I don't mean anything violent by that. I mean,
no, you just want other people to make it so that it's all about the Jews, when in reality, it's about the Zionists and the elites. You see, you play right into their hands by using this language. You're not solving anything. But Nick knows this. Nick's a very smart, shrewd son of a bitch. He 1,000% knows the score, but he also knows how to placate to an audience because it's good for business. The Zionists love this more than anybody else. They love Nick Fuentes. They may not say it publicly. In fact, they'll have you believe that they hate his guts. But secretly, they're very enamored with his language. Because again, he's not prefacing it in any other way other than the Jews. When you say the Jews, you are only hurting anti-Zionist Jews and helping Zion Nazis in the process. Now, I do believe that he wants to see Ben Shapiro fall and the entire collapse of the Daily Wire. And guess what? So do I. I could care less if they fall flat on their face and are nothing. But Fuentes, again, is proving that you're not going to solve this problem listening to him if you think the issue here is just a blanket repudiation of the Jewish people. That's not the answer, and it never will be.
They are in a pattern of behavior where everything they do makes it worse, and it seems like there's nothing they could do, like they're not capable of doing anything that can make things better. Their behavior is causing people to really not like them. And their response to this is to just increase those behaviors. So people don't like that they're completely intolerant of dissent or criticism. So what do? They freak out. Anyone criticizes them, they call them trash. They say you're a foreign agent, you're an anti-Semite. They get angry.
And on that point, he's correct. He is identifying, as I said, he is, much like Charlie Kirk was an exceptional grifter, so is Nick. In fact, Nick's better than Charlie was because Nick's actually an exceptional orator. He is very well read, studies, he knows the stuff. But he's dangerous. Not for the reasons that anybody else is talking about. It's because we are living in a desperate country right now where people are pissed off and they want to hurt people. And that's understandable. But you give power to people that completely understand that circumstance and are not going to temper their message. And it's not like they don't know this. Nick 1,000% knows it. But he also understands that by not eliminating the Zio state, it's great for his brand. If we got rid of Israel and it became Palestine again, I mean, you're talking about a significant portion of his audience that after that be like, oh, you're just a little Hitler or something. He's going to lose a lot of his base, and he's not going to be able to continue doing what he's doing, which is also why he's tempered his message when it comes to Israel. We've covered it, but this is another example. Going after the Daily Wire, understandable. But in the context in which he's doing it, he's not hurting Ben Shapiro. He's helping him. Because then Shapiro gets to go and talk. You see what he did? You see what he said to me? He said it's all about the Jews. He's a terrible person. We really hate Nick Fuentes. We have to support our cause. Support the Daily Wire, blah, 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 blah. That's my Ben Shapiro. But we'll finish it out because, again, the importance is context. Context is everything when it comes to this issue.
And it's like this just keeps, it really is circling the drain because it's cyclical almost. People get angry, and the Jews tell them you have to be suppressed. People get angrier. The Jews get even more suppressive, more censorious, if that's a word, more tyrannical. And it just keeps going and going.
And for your bottom line, that's a good thing. See, as much as you're willing to identify part of the problem, you're not identifying the actual problem, which is how do we get out of this situation? The only way we get out of it is if we are properly nuanced about where the real problem lies within the Jewish people. It is an elite problem. It has always been a class war. It always will be. And those that sit at the top hear you spouse that it's a full-on Jewish problem, that all Jews are bad. No one enjoys hearing that more than somebody like Ben Shapiro. You're only helping him, and you're only helping his kind. He doesn't give a fuck about anything other than how do I stay right where I am in spite of everything that's going on? That's why I said he is a foil. Fuentes is a foil specifically for the Zionist cause, even though he is saying the right thing about a number of these issues pertaining to the Zionist brigade. But he's doing it in a way that is creating just as much gasoline as he is creating a fire hose over the whole situation. You can't solve it by putting out one fire and starting another one. That's ostensibly what he's doing. And it is imperative for those that follow him, because again, like I said, so much of the fervor surrounding Fuentes is about the fact that this country is in a death spiral in so many respects. And they're angry and they're desperate and they're going to listen to somebody like him because he's saying stuff that the populist left is not saying. They're going to go somewhere and they're going to him. He was the #1 voice on Spotify just recently. And apparently it wasn't even his doing. He came out and said, no, somebody else put it up for me. And I became the #1 voice. And then what did Spotify do? They took him down. You think that that helps get rid of Nick Fuentes? No, it just helps him substantially. He continues to be portrayed as a martyr amongst the politicos, even those that don't necessarily agree with him. They see him in that martyr conception of, oh, well, the establishment wants to get rid of him, so he must be a good guy. He's just misunderstood. That's all it is. No. They're going to do anything and everything to prevent the inevitable shift of American populism, no matter where on the spectrum you fall. It is imperative upon us to distinguish the difference between the two, because if we do not, we are going to continue to descend into a proverbial hell that I am not 100% certain we are going to be able to get ourselves out of.